Hello, YouTubers. This is AnonymousRealityTVBlogger. Hope you're having an amazing day today. Today, I am giving a final update of what took place on the trial of Cardi B's defamation case against Tasha K. We are in day 3. I am recapping what Dennis Byron has provided in his latest update. So he just recently did an Instagram live that was about a little over an hour, and I don't think he's going to be saving it, but I will be linking in my description box his Twitter, where he is going to be providing some verbatim quotes of some things that were said in today's testimony, as well as I will link in my description box the Instagram live that he did earlier this afternoon to recap the morning portion of today's trial date. And there was just a lot going on in this Instagram live, you guys. First of all, I think it started off with over 40 people or so. By the time it ended, it was like over 100 some odd people. And there was just so much going on between everything that Dennis Byron was exposing, plus the exposure that was going on in the comments, because there were some other bloggers that were in there. Some I knew, some I didn't know or was too familiar with, but they were just putting it all out there, and they were even naming names of some of the other bloggers who have said slanderous and defamatory things about Cardi B as well, that some are trying to delete their videos now in light of this, or some, might be potentially next. Dennis Byron, I feel like the biggest thing he was alluding to was, like I mentioned in previous videos, is that there is a bigger thing at play here. There's a bigger master plan at play, that this Tasha K thing is just the beginning. And, it's just the beginning. Somebody was alluding in the comments that Karen Civil, might be in cahoots with Tasha K. And other people were, of course, mentioning Nicki Minaj and potentially her role and this and that. But again, all of that is alleged. All of that is speculation. I do not know that to be for a fact. I am only going to be recapping specifically the things that Dennis Byron said, that he factually recapped, that he experienced himself, because he was physically in the courthouse. And he said essentially that, Tasha K looked terrible. He said originally this case was supposed to be, potentially a few weeks of a trial, that how many days it was supposed to be. But he said the amount of evidence that has been presented over the past couple of days that has exposed Tasha K, he does not foresee this trial lasting too much longer, because there's just too much exposing that took place. He essentially said that Tasha K admitted to lying on Cardi B for a profit. She admitted to lying about Cardi B having STDs. And then he exposed in his live, that wasn't mentioned earlier, but he exposed that some of the cheating stories that Tasha K was reporting on her channel, whether it was Cardi B allegedly cheating on Offset, or allegedly Offset cheating on Cardi B, that those particular stories that were identified and reported on her page, she admitted to lying about those. She admitted to lying about Cardi B being a prostitute. She admitted to lying about Cardi B sticking the beer bottles and different things in her private area, her female private area. She admitted that basically she was Googling Cardi B on Pornhub. She was trying to find pornographic content of Cardi B on Pornhub. And this Lulu Bell porn star was the actual person who was doing the act of putting the beer bottles in her female private parts. Like, it wasn't like Cardi B was nowhere on this porn website. And it's incredible. Mr. Dennis Byron said that Cardi B, of course, has been there every day thus far, and hearing the audio, hearing how passionate Tasha K was in her reporting of these lies about Cardi B, it made Cardi B, you could see she was visibly uncomfortable. She was visibly just shaken. It the things that she was hearing once again. And, Dennis Byron, he said that Tasha K, she was sent 3 cease and desists to stop this, to stop doing videos on Cardi B, to stop spreading lies about Cardi B, and she made a mockery of it. She made a joke of the cease and desist letters. And as a result, Cardi B said, okay, I'm going to bring out the big guns for this because you didn't take my 3 cease and desist letters seriously. You've refused to stop posting content about me and stop posting lies about me and my family. And so, again, the same Tasha K that is, boisterous, is loud, is, serious in her conviction on her videos was not the same Tasha K that is on trial. She did not understand or didn't know a lot of the things that were happening in this courtroom, but would willfully admit that she didn't mind lying about Cardi B for money. And she kept bragging about the number of subscribers that she has, of hitting 1 million subscribers. She kept bragging about how many views her Cardi B content alone has on her channel that has made her so much money. And so there was a question that was asked in court, how much money are we talking about? Because you keep bragging about the money. And she's like, oh, well, I don't know. Ask my husband. So, and keep in mind, her husband is going to be on the witness stand tomorrow. And that was just confirmed by Dennis Byron on his recent Instagram live. So the husband will be on the witness stand tomorrow. So that is going to be interesting what he is going to say, because he edits and produces and films Tasha K's videos. So I am curious to see what approach he is going to take on the stand, because he's 50% ownership of their production company that puts out their content. So I am very curious on what his testimony tomorrow is going to be. But pretty much according to Dennis Byron, he feels that it's pretty much open and shut. He feels that there's no way that Tasha K can spin this in a positive way for her favor. Dennis Byron said that those that are trying to report false information, that are trying to, paint a narrative that are Tasha K fans or who do not like Cardi B, that are trying to diminish the seriousness of what has been revealed and exposed in court thus far, that the truth is going to come out in the transcripts, that you are going to see that everything that Mr. Dennis Byron has been reporting up to this point will be validated once those transcripts come out. And again, that he had also voiced, once more that he is, close to the panel of where the jurors were in the courtroom, and just how shocked, how shaken they were, because it's primarily white women that are on this jury, and they were just shocked because he said the biggest issue was that Tasha's legal team basically presented Tasha K in their opening arguments as if she was a renowned journalist and not, a content creator, not a blogger. They presented her as if she was like this renowned journalist, that she was this respected journalist, that was with, some of your big name journalists in the industry. And so it was basically a setup for a huge takedown, because anybody that is going to associate a journalist with something, you're going to always associate a journalist with somebody who has integrity, who has morals, who has ethics, who is not going to put out lies or put out information that is not credible, that you have not fact checked, that you have not investigated to make sure before you put that information out there that it is completely and 100% factual, that you are not putting out something that you may have an inkling or you may know for a fact that is a lie, but you want to go viral or you want to make money for it. So their whole setup of trying to elevate Tasha K into this respected journalist only for the 2-hour conversation of WOULDN to expose her, only for her videos that were slandering and defaming Cardi B and her family, were on complete display, completely shocked the jury, as everything was unfolding, because there was just a mounting amount of evidence that was heavily against Tasha K, that people would be shocked. It would have to be a miracle if there was some sort of smoking gun that were to save her. But as of now, there's just too much evidence against her for this trial to result in her favor. There's just too much going on. And, you know, Mr. Dennis Byron made it a point to say in his live that people just keep pointing to the Cardi B videos as, you know, going to be what's going to, you know, ultimately get this conviction. But what people don't realize is that there's accumulation of other videos. Like, if she has to pay damages, the income that she got from Google from all of these other videos is going to be a part of what she's going to have to pay in damages. It's not just going to be, you know, the revenue from the Cardi B videos. It's going to be potentially, you know, her getting shut down, potentially her channel getting shut down, potentially her having to file for bankruptcy. You know, he was even alluding to, like, pretty much the only way she's not going to have to pay is if there was money in offshore accounts or something. But essentially, he doesn't see a situation where she is not going to be held liable, because she admitted in federal court that she lied. She admitted in federal court that she lied about Cardi B, about her health status, about her medical conditions. She admitted that she knew that Star Marine Jones had health issues, that was likely not credible with some of the things that she was saying, and admitted all of this stuff to the court, in federal court. And she, of course, like I reported earlier, had pissed off the judge because there were certain questions that she just didn't want to answer and was deliberately being about the bush about it. And then Dennis Byron was saying that there was moments in the court where she just didn't even know what to say or what to do, and was trying to get signals from her attorneys. And he said basically Cardi B's attorneys is wiping the floor with Tasha K's legal team. And that Tasha K's legal team has no experience in federal court. They're criminal defense lawyers, but they have no experience, and they do not have a good track record in the cases that they have tried in the past of winning anything. So it is pretty much, you know, a blowout as far as he's concerned with how experienced, how well-versed these New York lawyers are for Cardi B, because they came with receipts. They came with all of the blows to show that basically Tasha K lied, and not only lied and is still bragging about it, but basically lacked the morals, lacked the ethics, lacked the integrity to, you know, have this huge of a platform to knowingly still put out false information, lies that were completely blatant and slanderous and defamatory against Cardi B and her family, all because she wanted money. And so Dennis Byron was thinking, and even the fact that, you know, she's still adamant about leaving up these videos, that maybe he's thinking that her thought process is, well, you know, maybe it's not looking good for me anyway, so maybe I'll just still try to milk as much more revenue as I can out of these existing Cardi B videos and other videos on my channel, depending on what happens of how much this judgment is going to be that she's going to have to end up paying. So maybe that's a potential angle that she wants to keep these videos up. But he said it's just the arrogance for him, that she is extremely arrogant in terms of the million subscribers, how many views her videos getting, how quickly she got put on the map, and how quickly, she credits this Cardi B thing. Of course, it's alleged that the reason that all of this snowballed in the first place was because Cardi B wouldn't grant her an interview a couple of years ago, allegedly, which led to this smear campaign that began. But then it just turned into an obsession. It turned into a fixation of Cardi B and her family, and saying all of these wild things, saying that you were going to wipe the cease and desist letters, with your ass. Like, it's just, and excuse my language, but it's disgusting, And it's like, and even Dennis Byron was also saying in his live, he said, how can you go to bed at night knowing that you are lying intentionally on somebody and trying to ruin their image, their reputation, and their brand, all so that you can make money, all because that is going to be your source of making money, that you do not want to wait and build a credible and honorable career by putting out factual content, by putting out content that you have the receipts to back it up on, that that you have the information to be verified, to be as of a fact. How are you comfortable putting out content that is a lie, or that that your sources are sketchy or are not in the right mental health space to, reveal such information, where some of it can be easily misconstrued, some of it can be potentially a lie, and you still were confident enough to put that information out there to millions of people. And as a result of that, other bloggers, other publications took those stories that you put out there about Cardi B and posted it on their platforms as fact. So that's like a whole separate issue in itself. But essentially, it's a really huge, it's going to have to take a miracle, basically, is what Dennis Byron is saying, for any type of way of Tasha K to redeem herself or to have any luck of winning this case, because that's just how damning the evidence against Tasha K is. Like, he said he was expecting this to go on for, potentially several weeks or a few weeks, but he says that, this case has potentially, could potentially wrap up next week, with just the amount of evidence that has been, presented already, and just how shocked the jurors are, because again, they built Tasha K up in the opening argument to be this journalist, like she was, like an Oprah or a Robin Roberts or somebody. And then once the videos played and the 2-hour audio with her and LOVELYTi played, it was a wrap. The jurors completely were shook. They were taking all of these notes. They had looks of horror on their face, and it was just crazy. And so the reason why there weren't cameras allowed was because that particular Supreme Court representative, I guess, banned it. But he really, Mr. Dennis Byron really wanted there to be cameras in there so that people could see for real what is going on. And for people who had questions about Dennis Byron, he said, put some respect on his name. He said, in the 80s, he has an accounting background. He said in the 80s, he was an auditor for Pepsi. He has been to all of these high profile cases. He was at Diddy's cases. He was at OJ's case. He was just naming off all of his cases that he has been a part of in these courtrooms to, report the facts, report what's going on. Because there are so many people who want to try to discredit or distort things, or, put out lies for clickbait, but that's not what he's about. He really, and he just said that he felt a certain way. He said, take away Cardi B, the rapper, or Cardi B, the person that you saw on Love and Hip Hop. Look at it from a perspective of somebody who is a wife and who is a mother, who has hustled. She's from the Bronx. She hustled to get to where she is, and to have somebody for several years now have this fixation of just trying to take her down, trying to tarnish her reputation, trying to, knowingly spread lies about her health status, calling her a prostitute, saying she has STDs, saying that she is putting, beer bottles in her vagina that turned out to be a porn star because you were actually Googling on that porn website. You were Googling Cardi B, hoping to find something on there that featured Cardi B in some sort of sexual act, but since you didn't find it, you just went ahead and just went with the porn star that actually was doing these sexual acts and just wanted to, slander Cardi B's name out of just revenge or bitterness or whatever the fixation and obsession is that you have. And now this trial is going to set a precedence. That's what, Dennis Byron wanted to write home, that, it's not the issue of the First Amendment. It is not the issue of what people are saying on social media and this and that. It is the fact from a content creator perspective and reporting news perspective that you have a situation where somebody is knowingly putting out lies about somebody that they know is not true, or they know that the source that they got this information from is not credible or was not in a state, to be credible when they said such things, and still put it out there for profit. So that is going to change, how bloggers, how other content creators are going to report on certain things moving forward. Because you're not just going to be getting away with just saying anything that's defamatory or that is slanderous against somebody, without there being consequences, especially if it's not true, and especially if that your source is not credible, or that your source was not, in the actual state of being credible when they said the things that they said to you, but you knew that you were going to get views and get money out of it, so you just went ahead with it anyways. So that is going to change. If you're a blogger, if you're a content creator, it's going to be about integrity. It's going to be about reporting the facts. It's going to be reporting what is truthfully going on. And if you don't know, not putting that information out there. And this is totally different from reacting to different things that celebrities say or do, or different things of that nature. This is basically specifically under the lines of you are reporting information that you have no factual information to support it to be true. Where is the proof or the health records that you can factually say that you know what is going on in Cardi B's body? Where's the factual receipts that you have that Cardi B was cheating on her husband, or that Offset was cheating on her? Where are those receipts to back that information up? And you saying under oath on the stand that you know that you lied about all of these things, and I guess some other private things that may or may not come out at a later date, because Dennis Byron is basically alluding to that there's some other huge things that were revealed that Tasha K admitted to lying about that was very damaging. That was very damaging against her. So I am going to stay tuned on that to see if that gets exposed as well. But essentially, Cardi B's lawyers have, just really dismantled every single thing that, was negatively said about Cardi B and her family, and just played that audio from Tasha K's videos, in front of that courtroom, in front of the jurors, in front of everybody. And he said, the judge was really pissed off today at Tasha K with just, how deliberate she was being, and some of the ways that she was trying to avoid responding to certain things, that it just wasn't cool. And he had to give her, a few warnings, and even a final warning, like I had reported in my previous video, or she was going to be held in contempt. And then another thing that Dennis Byron recently exposed in his live that he did a little while ago, he said the U.S. Marshals were there. So that's what I mean. It's like when he says that the Tasha K, that if you go and play one of her YouTube videos now where she's like loud, she's boisterous, and she is like set in her convictions about the things that she's saying about these people, that was not the same energy on the stand when you have U.S. Marshals staring at you in the face in a federal court. This is huge. This is big time. And this is serious. This is a very serious case. Cardi B was not playing. And, he said that essentially in all of his years, this is the first time he has seen a celebrity like Cardi B, as big as Cardi B, utilize the resources she has in these expensive New York attorneys to fight cyberbullying, to fight somebody knowingly posting false information about her that is slanderous and that is defamatory. And that this could set a precedent, for other celebrities to take this sort of route. Depending on what happens, how bad the damages are going to be, when the resolution of this case actually happens. So, but yeah, Mr. Dennis Byron said that there were U.S. Marshals in this courtroom, that there is so much interest in this case, and that so many people were shocked. Because here's the thing, a lot of people were not familiar with Tasha K. That's the other thing you have to realize. A lot of us, of course, have, either subscribed to Tasha K or have been familiar with some of her, stories, whether it was some of the R. Kelly stuff or the Cardi B stuff. There have been certain things that we have watched of Tasha K that we have that familiarity with her style, with how she reports things, with how she goes about things. However, when you're presenting these types of videos in a courtroom to people who are thinking that she's a journalist, as her attorneys presented Tasha K to be in their opening arguments, and they play the videos of the things that she is saying about Cardi B and her family, they were completely shook. They couldn't believe what they were hearing and what they were seeing. And how somebody that you presented as a journalist to then play those videos and that 2-hour conversation with WOULDN after, that made matters even more worse for Tasha K than what they already are. And all you had to do was stop after the first cease and desist, and we would not even be here. Because that's what happened with another blogger that happened to. They had stopped. They shut up immediately when they received that cease and desist from Cardi B. But Tasha K kept going and even got 2 more cease and desist. So Cardi B was even giving her more chances to stop talking about her, to stop spreading lies about her, to stop spreading cheating allegations that she was cheating, that Offset was cheating, to stop spreading information that was false about her medical records, about her health status, about her having STDs and all this other stuff. There was many attempts for Tasha K to stop, and she kept going. She kept going, and now we are here where she is getting completely exposed, completely dismantled in court. And, from what Dennis Byron is reporting, it's just bad. It's just bad. Because he said, you have to take it out. Like I said, you have to take out Cardi B, the rapper. Like, if you don't like some of her art or some of the things that she puts out, or, if you are only familiar with Cardi B that you see on Love and Hip Hop, maybe you weren't comfortable with that, but it's entertainment. But in this federal courtroom, she is a wife, she is a mother who happens to be a major celebrity. But she's first and foremost a wife and a mother who has hustled to provide for herself, to provide for her family and the people that work for her. And she's fighting this case. She is suing Tasha K for the invasion of privacy, for the defamation, and wanting, damages paid, wanting these videos taken down, potentially her channel taken down. This is serious. Because This is a direct threat to her name, to her reputation, to her image, to her brand. And as Dennis Byron said in his live, her kids one day are going to be old enough to Google their mom, to Google Cardi B. And he said, essentially, they can grow up and Google this case and Google that their mom fought to have her name cleared and to have exposed a blogger who was knowingly reporting false and inaccurate and blatant lies about her on her platform to make money and to fast track her way to popularity and fame. And that's the lesson here. If nothing else, the lesson is don't post false information on people. Do not post information that you have not fact checked to be credible, to be truthful. Do not knowingly post lies about somebody or post something to your, platform that potentially can be false. That you have an inkling somewhere that there's a potential that this might not be the truth. Because now this case has set a precedent. And a lot of eyes are on this case. There may be certain people who are staying away from reporting on this. I believe Dennis Byron shouted out Choke No Joke and a few other people who physically, are in the courtroom. And there are some people who actually traveled to be at this case because they wanted to hear the actual truth and not what's being spun on certain people's platforms. They wanted to hear the actual truth of what was being said and how all of this was going to, what was going to be the conclusion of this case, how this was going to turn out. So there is just so much at stake here. And, for Dennis Byron, it's not a matter of, whether or not this is going to be a conviction. It's just a matter of how much in damages is Tasha K going to have to pay. Because he doesn't see, the husband that's going to be testifying tomorrow, he doesn't see that ending well. And, finally, the doctor at some point is going to do their testimony where, they validated that Cardi B does not have any of these diseases. They validated that, she's in good health, that she doesn't have herpes, she doesn't have HPV, she doesn't have any of this stuff that Tasha K alleged in her content that she put out. So it's just crazy. And I think it even made, Dennis Byron feel a certain way because he was like, just imagine sitting in the courtroom and imagine hearing these things being said about somebody who's a wife and a mother, and just how comfortable it is to hear somebody say that, and to say it with such conviction, to say it with such vitriol, to say it with so much fixation and obsession and bias and everything else, as if it were fact, and knowing in the back of your mind that it was likely a lie, that it probably was a lie, that it is a lie, but you wanted to make money and you wanted to get views. That's another thing that Dennis Byron kept saying. She kept alluding on the stand how many subscribers, celebrating the 1 million subscribers and celebrating how many views she has, and that, her Cardi B content is going to just continue to make her money. And it's just sad that she didn't stop to look at the bigger picture. She didn't stop to look at the implications or the ramifications of this. She didn't stop after the first cease and desist to say, hey, maybe I need to stop. Maybe I need to take these videos down. Maybe this is not a good look. But essentially what Dennis Byron also has said is Tasha K essentially has used this case, has used the fact that Cardi B sued her, has also utilized that as another opportunity to, brag about being famous or brag about being, you know, having all of these views and all of this and that. And to then, of course, further promote said videos where she is saying all of these negative things about Cardi B and her family. It's like she's, you know, excited about this, excited about the fact that her name is associated with Cardi B on this level. And it's just crazy, the lack of self-awareness, the lack of, you know, not seeing, you know, morally, you know, how wrong this is. Not feeling, and that was the other thing that Mr. Dennis Byron pointed out. He did not see any type of empathy or sympathy or remorse on Tasha K's face about feeling bad about any of the things that she said about Cardi B and her family. And that is something. Because you would think, and he even said, when you think you'd even get at a certain age as an adult, when you've been through some things, when you've experienced some things, or people close to you that you know, or loved ones, or what have you, that have experienced certain things, bad things that have happened, that you would have some sort of remorse, some sort of sympathy, some sort of empathy. And with Tasha K also being a wife and mother too, would she want these things said about her? And he just did not see any of that on her face, that she just loved and was just reveling in the fact that she said all of this stuff about Cardi B because it made her money. And that basically she was willing to sell her soul because it amounted her in all of this fame and all of this revenue by spreading lies about Cardi B. And that's just not okay. But he was just shocked because you would think at this point, if it's not going well for you in the courtroom, there's no apology, there's no remorse, there's no empathy, there's no sympathy at all on the stand. You're excited because of how much money it made. But then for certain questions, you're claiming not to understand it or going around the bush or saying some other stuff. Like, it's just not a good look at all. So, you know, that essentially were the main things that, you know, as far as updates go, because I wanted to update you guys the moment that I had updates, because I wanted you guys to be aware of what is going on in this case so that you have the most up-to-date information. And that's where we are. So again, I am going to definitely, because I want to credit Byron, I want to credit Mr. Dennis Byron, because I appreciate the fact that he has been so open and he has been so honest and he has been so willing to provide these live updates of what is actually happening in the courtroom, is not shying away from talking about this, is not caught up in stan culture or trying to protect certain people, but is strictly about reporting the facts and exposing the truth and getting to the root of what the issues at hand are. So like I said, I am going to link his Twitter in my description. I am going to link also his Instagram live that he did earlier today that was recapping the morning session of the trial. Like I said, this live that he just did, I don't think he's going to save. He said in the live he didn't plan on saving it. But you may see on Twitter or some other social media platforms, maybe some people may have screen recorded it to capture some of the comments that were being made in the live. And so, but I will definitely make sure that I have all of that in there, because he did say that if you go to his Twitter, and I don't know if he's going to start it tonight, I will definitely check as soon as I, finish this and see, if he uploads anything else. If he uploads anything else tonight, I will definitely do another video so that you have the most up-to-date information ahead of tomorrow's trial date. And just to, recap again, tomorrow, Tasha K's husband's going to be on the witness stand, because really the witnesses are Tasha K, her husband, since he's 50% owner of their production company, and as well as the physician. Those are the three witnesses. And really the main witnesses that you need, because there's been enough evidence already, to basically prove why Cardi B has filed this lawsuit. But essentially, it's just not a matter of, whether or not there's going to be a conviction. It's just a matter of how much damages are going to be and how far is this federal judge going to rule on what the punishment will be for Tasha K. So that's going to be another whole new thing on how he's going to rule. Because it already sounded as though he was already frustrated today, which is not a good sign at all. So, but yes, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of the feedback and the comments and how engaged and how closely you guys are in tune with this trial and following all of the updates and tuning in the moment that I post and, giving your immediate feedback. I want your reactions. I want to know what you guys think about this. Because it honestly did not have to get to this. It did not have to get to this at all, So I am curious to know what your guys' thoughts are, what you guys think. I want your reactions. And thank you so much. I'm definitely, like I said, I am just wire to wire. I am following Dennis Byron and following his updates. And when he has updates, I give you updates. So that's kind of where we are. But that is the latest that I have. Please let me know what you guys think about all this. Let me know what your thoughts are about all of this that has been revealed. The U.S. Marshals being there. Tasha K still admitting under oath that she willingly lied for money about Cardi B, about these personal details about her life and her health and everything else for money, for profit. Bragging still about the 1 million subscribers and the millions of views on her page and how Cardi B put her on the map. And then yesterday mentioning in her testimony, mentioning stuff about R. Kelly, and her content on R. Kelly and stuff. Like, react to all of it. React to everything. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Those of you, if it is your first time viewing my channel, if it's your first time viewing my page, if it's your first time viewing a video by me, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have a playlist. Check out my other videos. Check out my other playlists. But I have a specific playlist for this defamation suit. So for those of you who have missed any of my other videos that I have done reporting on the past couple of days of this trial of Cardi B's lawsuit against Tasha K, I have a specific playlist. I believe it's like 5 or 6 videos so far that is outlining everything that initially Billboard was reporting, as well as Dennis Byron, who has been my main source that I want to credit, who has been giving the live updates of everything that's been happening inside this courtroom. So check out that playlist for those of you who have not seen my other videos regarding this case, so that you have all of the updates of what's happened since day 1 and where we are at the conclusion of day 3 today. Those of you who have continued to be supporters, those of you who are subscribers, thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you so much for continuing to come back, continuing to engage. I appreciate you. I am thankful. I am grateful for each and every single one of you. You guys are all amazing human beings. I am very thankful for all of you. I appreciate your support. I read all of your comments. I try to respond or at least like your comments, but I do see everything you guys are saying, and I appreciate all of the feedback. I appreciate everything you guys are saying, everything you guys are reacting to, and how engaging this has been and how quickly this channel has grown. I thank you so much. I thank you so much. It truly means everything. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified the moment that I post new content on my channel, which will be perfect for the next week and a half or so, especially, or depending on how long this case goes. Because like I said, the moment that I have updates, you are getting updated on what happens with this defamation lawsuit. So please don't forget to be notified so you can get right to my video and get right to the facts and get right to the updates on what's going on. Thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day wherever you are. I will talk to you guys again soon. Of course, I will talk to you guys again later. I will talk to you guys again either again tonight or tomorrow, depending on what else we get, any other updates that happen from Mr. Dennis Byron. But thank you so much. I will talk to you guys again very soon.